guys, and welcome to my quest guide for the 2005 Members Quest, Mournings End Part 2. Now before we start the quest, you need to make sure you have been to Ledya and spoke to Arianwin. If you've not spoke to him after Mournings End Part 1, then you won't be able to start the quest, it won't work. So make sure you do that. You should have a crystal teleport seed from Mournings End Part 1. But to start the quest, we need to be in West Ardoin. So to start the quest, we need to speak to the head mourner, but first we'll go through what is needed for the quest. So for quest requirements, you need to have completed Mournings End Part 1. There are no skill requirements to do this quest. Items required, you will need a full set of mourner gear. You'll need a rope, a chisel, not one on the tool belt, it has to be outside the tool belt, and then a way to enter the death altar. So whether it's a death talisman, an omni talisman, a death tiara, or if you've got a death talisman in the wicked hood, any of those things will work. Just make sure you bring it with you. There are no enemies to defeat, but I will recommend you bring food or healing items because you will get attacked by level 95 shadows throughout the quest. So you can either bring food, you will need inventory space as well, so you can't bring too much. You can bring items like the enhanced Excalibur if you've got it, or bring in a bunyip for healing with an extra pouch and a summoning potion, and have your charged crystal teleport seed with you. So to start the quest, we need to speak to the head mourner. He is downstairs in the Mourners HQ in West Ardoin. You need to make sure you have your full mourner's gear on to be able to get to here. So go through the chat and then click accept quest. Go through the rest of his chat. And then you will get a key. If you have done the one small favour quest, this key can be added to the keyring, but if not, run west and open the door to the cave to the west, and then just follow the tunnel. Keep going west, past the dark beasts. And just keep going, and eventually you will see some dead bodies on the floor. There will be a little cutscene. Once the cutscene's gone, you need to search the guard corpse. There are a couple of them, so just try each one and you will get a colour wheel from one of them. When you've got the colour wheel, go west again and enter into the temple. So just west of the entrance, there will be a staircase. So go up the staircase here. When you get up here, run south. And on the southern wall, if you turn your camera around, there is a ladder you can climb up. Then run north once you're up the ladder, till you reach some more staircases. They are just to the northwest. Go down the staircase and then back up the staircase. And then follow the path to the east. And then slightly south and you will come to a black crystal. Click on the black crystal and then choose option 1, try to chisel a shard off the crystal. Make sure you've got inventory space. You will need quite a few inventory spaces, so you can eat food as you go if you've already filled up. Now use your teleport crystal and travel to Ledya and go and speak to Arianwin. Go through the chat. Then Elund will appear and you need to give her the blackened crystal. So just use that on her. Once you've used it on her, click on her again to speak to her. Go through the chat and you will get a newly made crystal. When you've done that, speak to Arianwen again. When you've gone through the chat, you need to head back to the temple. So teleport to Ardoin, either with a teleport tab or runes, or just to the lodestone. And then head back into West Ardoin. When you go through the gate into the west side, run to the north, into the Mourners HQ again. Make sure you haven't took off your Mourner gear, otherwise you won't be able to get in. Into the western room, down the trapdoor. And then straight through the western door. There's no need to speak to the head mourner again. The key will let you straight in. And then run all the way west as far as you can go till you reach the temple. So when you get to the temple, go through the doorway, back up the stairs. And then just on the eastern wall, there is a crystal collector lever, so you need to pull that one. You will need to have 5 inventory spaces, so if you've not got enough space, then just eat some of your food or move things around to make 5 empty spaces. And then click collect on the crystal collector. If you choose option 3, take all the items, then you don't need to go through multiple options. And once you've got all 5 items, you need to use a mirror on the pillar right next to you, just west of where you stood. When you've put the mirror in, if the light isn't pointing north, then you can just right click and rotate until it points north. If it's already pointing north, go to the next pillar just to the north. Put another mirror in and then rotate it so it's pointing to the west. To rotate, just click on the pillar to search it and choose the option to rotate. When the light is pointing west, just follow it to the next pillar directly west of where you are. Place another mirror in this one and then rotate to make it point south. Then go south and stop at the next pillar. And this one you need to place the yellow crystal in. Then go south again to the next pillar and place a mirror in the southern one. And that needs to be pointing east, so just rotate it till it's pointing across the gap. When that's pointing east, then you need to make your way across the gap. So on the southern side of the gap, there is some wall supports. Make sure you click on the wall supports and not the ladder, otherwise you'll climb down into the hole. If you fail, just climb up the ladder and try it again. Once you get across, you can go through the doorway. Just click on the light door to pass through it, and then you can open the chest. Search the chest when it's opened. and you'll get some more crystals and mirrors. And that is this one done. So now we need to move on to the next doorway. So head back out through the door, back across the gap using the wall supports, and head back to the crystal collector. That was the central part on the eastern wall where the lever was. Now you'll need to make space for items again. You need to get all the items out once again, so maybe you'll need to eat some food. Pull the crystal collector and collect all the items. So collect all the items again. Option 3, take all the items. And then once again, place a mirror in the pillar right next to you. Make sure that's pointing north. Next pillar to the north, place a mirror in and make sure that's pointing to the west once again, just like we did before. Then go to the pillar directly west and place the yellow crystal in. Keep going to the westernmost pillar here, which is just the next one. Place a mirror in and direct the light to the north. So rotate till it points north. Follow the light up. The next pillar to the north, add a mirror and rotate it till it points east. Walk east to the next pillar and place the cyan crystal in. And then keep going east to the magenta door and you'll be able to walk through it. So go through there and the same again, open and loot the chest. Now this is the only time you will need the cyan crystal, so when you get it back you can just destroy it to save some inventory space. So when you've done that, head back to the crystal collector, the lever in the center once again, and we're ready for the next puzzle. So once you get back to the crystal collector, pull the lever, same as always, and then collect all the items. If you've not got enough space for everything, just eat a little bit of food. Option 3, take all the items. So then we start the same again. You can destroy the cyan crystal, like I said. Check you've got everything from the crystal collector, then place a mirror in the pillar right next to you and make sure that's pointing north. Now for the other two puzzles I had the map on screen from the wiki, but the rest don't have a map available. So directly north, place a mirror in. And this one needs to be pointing downstairs. So the long side of the mirror on this little image needs to be on the south side like this. If it's directed like that, it means it's pointing down. So when that one's pointing down, then you need to go down the stairs and go north, and you'll be able to see the pillar here with the light shining down on it. So add a mirror and that should be pointing west. Go directly to the next pillar to the west, put another mirror in, and that one needs to be pointing north. So when the light is pointing north, follow the path around. You will need to go west and then north to come around to the other side. When you get up to the beam, add another mirror here, and this one you need to make the light point upwards. So rotate the mirror, and when you can see the light pointing upwards like this, that one's ready to go. So once that one's done, you need to head back upstairs. So head around to the staircase again. So then you need to run back up to where you've reflected the light up, which is just to the north here. There is 4 on the north. It's like the third one from the left. So you'll see the light pointing up. Add the yellow crystal in here. And then climb the ladder right next to the pillar. Add a mirror to the pillar upstairs just next to the ladder. And then rotate so the light reflects to the west. Go back down the ladder. And then run all the way south as far as you can go. You will run around, but that's okay. So we go into this southern wall where the ladder was we used earlier. Turn your camera around if you can't see it, but make sure you put it back facing north afterwards. When you've got upstairs, up the ladder, you need to go all the way to the northwestern corner. So if you just click in the northwestern corner, it will find the quickest way there. When you get to the pillar all the way into the northwest, use a mirror on it and reflect the light to the south. Then run down to the southwestern corner. When you get down there, add a mirror on once again. And then reflect the light downwards. So this time the long end of the mirror should be in the north section. And that'll be pointing down. You can see the light doesn't go anywhere. When you've done that, head back around to the ladder on the south wall. Just follow the path around and climb down to the floor below once again. Once you get down the ladder, there is a small room just to the northwest of the ladder. So if you go slightly west and slightly north, go into the room, climb across the wall. When you get in here, use the rope you brought on the rock. And then climb down. Go west through the door just to the southwestern corner. And there is the next chest we can open and loot. And that is this puzzle done, and we're ready for the next one. Now the next one is a little bit different. Do not reset what you've just done, otherwise you'll have to repeat the last section. So do not go up and pull the lever like we did previously. So go out of the room and climb up the rope and go out of the door. So now we need to go to the northern wall and take the yellow crystal back out of the pillar that we put it in. So run to the north. To the pillar with the yellow light shining out of it. Click on it and take the crystal. That will turn the light white again. Then use the blue crystal on it instead. And then run all the way south to the ladder. Go down the ladder and then once again run all the way to the northwestern corner. Once you get to the northwest, you need to rotate the mirror so it is facing downwards. So on this one, the largest part of the mirror should be on the east side, just like that. If you go past it like I did, just go round again. There we go. So the large part is on the east side. That means the light is pointing down. Then run all the way to the southwestern corner again. And you need to remove the mirror from the southwestern pillar. Once you've got the mirror back, go back to the ladder on the south wall. And go down the ladder again. When you've gone down the ladder, go to the stairs next to the collector. And go down the stairs. When you're down, run all the way to the northwestern corner down here. Go through the doorway, and there'll be a pillar in the middle of two doorways here. When you get to this, reflect light to the south. It will already have a mirror in this one. So rotate the mirror southwards. Go through the next light door. And run into the little room to the east here and loot the chest. You get some more mirrors and stuff. Go back through the little yellow light door. Rotate the mirror in the pillar to the east once again so you can get through the door. And that is that puzzle done. Now we're ready for the magenta and yellow doors. So now we need to head back to the crystal collector again. So head back to the staircase near the entrance and go back up. Go up the stairs and pull the lever on the crystal collector. Option 3 to take all the items again. Just double check that you've got everything out. Eat some more food if you need to. And then put a mirror in the first pillar. Once again, make sure it's pointing north. Go to the next pillar directly north, place a mirror in and point that to the west. Directly west to the next pillar, use a mirror and reflect it to the south. Then run south. And place the yellow crystal in the next pillar. Run south once again to the next pillar, place a mirror in and reflect that to the east. Then go across the wall supports, like we did earlier, and through the door. Use the blue crystal on the pillar inside the room here. And then go back out the door. Go back across the wall supports. If you do fall down like I did, you'll have to make your way back round to the staircase and go back up. But you need to go to the pillar right next to the wall supports. So if you do make it across, then you need to stay at that pillar and take the mirror back out of it. So take the mirror out of the pillar right next to the wall supports. Then go back to the north and take the yellow crystal out of the pillar just to the north. Then run north once again to the next pillar and reflect the light from this pillar upwards. If you do accidentally take the mirror, just put it back in again. Rotate it till it is pointing up, like that. Then go back south to the ladder and climb up to the next floor. Run north again to where the reflected light should be coming up. You'll have to run around a little bit, so go down the staircase just here and then back up again. Make your way around. Now if you get lost, it should be coming up from the pillar that is directly northeast of those little staircases you just came back up. So when you've done that one, place a mirror on here and then rotate it to reflect to the south. Then run to the south to the other side. You can go down the steps and back up. It's the quickest way instead of running all the way around. To the next pillar and then use the fractured crystal on this one to split the beam up. Now run west to the first pillar you come to. And this one needs to be pointing downwards, so add a mirror on. You will know it's pointing downwards if you don't see a light or if the large side of the mirror is pointing east. Go back to the fractured crystal and then go south. The first pillar to the south of that one needs to be reflected to the east, so add a mirror in there. Rotate it to the east. Then follow the light to the east. When you get to the eastern one, put a mirror in and reflect the light downwards. This time the large side of the mirror on this little picture should be on the western side. Then you need to make your way to the ground floor. Now I'll skip a little bit here because I went the wrong way, but you need to go down the southern ladder right here on the wall. And then ignoring my wrong turns, once you go down the ladder, head up to the collector crystal. Don't pull the lever, but you need to go down the staircase again, right in the center. So when you've gone down the staircase, you need to head towards the southwest until you see a pillar with green light coming out of it. So if you go slightly south and then 2 pillars to the west, you should see it there. Add a mirror to this pillar with the green light in and reflect the green light to the south. Then follow the light to the south and at the next pillar, add another mirror and reflect the light to the east. Follow the light to the east and go through the door. Add another mirror to the pillar in this room, reflect the light to the north, go through the doorway. And loot the chest. Get all the goodies from it. And head back through the doorway. All the way back up to the crystal collector, up the staircase, and pull the lever on the wall for the next puzzle. So back up the staircase and ready for the final one of these very annoying puzzles. Pull the lever. Make sure you pull the lever before you collect, otherwise you won't get anything. Collect everything from the tray, option 3. Put a mirror in the first pillar, make sure it's pointing north, just double check that you do have everything out of the tray. Go north, put a mirror in the next one and reflect the light down. So rotate this one. On this one, the large side of the mirror should be to the south. Go downstairs. Up to where you reflected the light down and put a mirror in this next pillar. And reflect the light to the west. Follow the path and place the fractured crystal in here. If you put one in and nothing happens, remove the crystal you just put in and use the other one, because you do have 2 of them. It should be pointing in 4 directions like that. Once it's pointed in, run south to the next pillar and place the other fractured crystal into this one. Then run west. Put a mirror in the next pillar and make sure it's pointing upwards. Then run east. And east again. And put a mirror in this pillar as well and make sure that's pointing up. Then run west back to the 4 pointing one. And then run north. You need to go all the way to the northern side, so you will have to run around. To where the light hits the pillar on the northern wall. Put a mirror in here and once again reflect the light upwards. So now you need to go upstairs, so make your way back to the staircase. When you get up, head back to the northern wall where we reflected the light up. When you get to this one, add the yellow crystal in. Go up the ladder right next to it and put a mirror in. And then reflect the light to the west. So the yellow light is pointing to the western side. Go back down the ladder. And head all the way to the south, to the ladder on the south wall again. Then run 1 pillar north and then run 1 pillar west. Put a mirror into this pillar and reflect the green beam to the west. Then run 2 pillars to the east. So skip the first one and go to the one on the eastern wall. Put a mirror in and reflect the light from that one to the west as well. Then run west 1. Place a mirror into this one here and reflect this light to the north. Then run around to the northern pillar, so go down the little staircase and back up. To this pillar just to the northeast of the staircase, use a mirror on it and reflect the light to the west. When that's pointing west, follow the light and then place the blue crystal in the next pillar. Once you've done that, run to the northwestern corner. You will see the red light going into the pillar here. So add a mirror to the northwesternmost pillar. And then you need to reflect the red light to the south. Then follow the light south one pillar, so that should be in the center of the western wall. Add a mirror in here so it reflects to the east. Then go back to the staircase in the middle of the room. That's the two small staircases we went down and up earlier. We head back to them. So this time go down one set and down again instead of back up, and then you can go through the light door. When you're in here, search the pillar in the middle of the room and rotate the mirror that's already in there so it points to the west. That will have all the lights shining on this little statue thing here, which means you can travel through the portal, and this is where the death altar is. So while you're just going through the chat, you need to remember you need an entrance to the death altar here. So if you've not brought one, you will have to go out and get one, but do not teleport out or you will lock yourself out. If you do need to go get a talisman or the wicked hood or something from the bank, you'll have to go back through the white door and rotate that last mirror to get through the door just next to it to get up the staircase. If you don't do that and teleport out, you'll have to redo it all to get through that door again. But if you have brought it, then enter the ruins and use the newly made crystal on the death altar. Once you've done that, exit using the portal. Head back through the white portal doors. Go over to the pillar with the red light in and rotate that to the east so you can get back through the door. Go through the door and up the stairs and then up again and round to the black crystal. When you get here, you need to use the charge newly made crystal on the black crystal. That will turn it white. Then use your teleport seed crystal thing to go back to Letia. Go back into the easternmost house and speak to Arianwyn. Go through the chat. And there we have quest complete. So for completing Mournings End Part 2, you will receive 2 quest points, 20,000 agility XP, a crystal trinket which allows access to the Temple of Light, access to the Death Altar which includes access from the Abyss, and 2 treasure hunter keys, and that gives you access now for the next quest, which is Within the Light.